No, it was on Tuesday. Somebody came to visit us. It was Emmanuel Sabah invited her over to visit us in the studio, interview section with Emmanuel Sebastian. You would There's some spilling. It felt like it was when the Williams show. There was some spilling on that show, on that interview. Judah Galo, they call your name. Kelechi Anacho, what's the name again? Chikweze, all these boys there. Boys to men, they called all your names. So I don't know. So I don't know what to do, but we would see what we'll do at the end of the day. But let's focus on gist stories that are making the headlines in the beautiful world of sports. And I'm going to start from the beautiful country, Spain, the Basque country. Okay, let's see what's going on in that region, and then we move on. I'm not really that strong. I'm a bit under the weather, so I'm going to be a little bit uncoordinated, a bit slow and easy. But there was this thing that Steph Curry brought to the NBA that just get me so excited. Highest scoring 3-pointer, thousands. But these guys don't brag about it the way you see Ronaldo fans and Messi fans, want to kill us with the number of goals that they score. When your point runs into thousands, come on, it's not easy, okay? But hey, that's the way it is. Somewhere, say neither LeBron nor AD. Lakers beat Mavs in overtime with Reeves buzzer beater. That's good. That's a very, very good one. There's the talk that Barcelona, even though they're looking to sign some players like Aubameyang and some other players, there is actually this talk that there is serious conversation behind the scenes for them to get Erling Haaland. But at the same time, the president, Florentino Perez, the president of Real Madrid, is working round the clock to bring Kylian Mbappe and Haaland together. He wants to pair the two. He wants to pair the two of them together and get them going as a strike force, because uh, the whole idea is, from the technical report that they have in Spain, they don't believe that Kylian Mbappe alone can lead the team to success. So they need to put the two deadliest strikers, sort of the two deadliest strikers in the world right now, together to combine the kind of combustion that would power them to what they used to have with Cristiano Ronaldo and Karim Benzema, or probably the previous Galacticos. I'm not asking you guys, is that going to work? Is it a doable thing? Is it possible? I mean, having Mbappe and the type of salary that he will command, because the days of the Galacticos, come on, those guys didn't really pick up big salaries. They have big names, big ego, big personality, big brand. But if you compare what they earned, compare it to what these players are going to be collecting, what's the name now? People talk about what Messi collected, but looking at Haaland, we're already hearing £700,000 a week. Okay, £700,000 a week is 1.4 million per month. Okay, then you look at Kylian Mbappe, it's also going to be in that region. So if you put the two of them together in Real Madrid, can they pay? That's one. And then are they brand personified? Okay, that's another thing you have to consider. Would their image, okay, this Norwegian Brett Allen does come to me as a very normal, average Joe kind of guy off the field of play. So does he have the brand power to sell as much jerseys and merchandise and every other thing that will provide them with the kind of funding that is required? I don't think so. I don't know. So I don't know who's working the business anyway, but result on the field might be good, and that just might be enough to pay off all the things that they are accumulating in terms of salaries and bonuses. And as they progress, if you win Ballon d'Or, if you win highest goal scorer, if you win Golden Boot, all of those things that comes with contract. Now, it's just fans. What fans here is, what I want to. I mean, we should go ahead and sign Mbappe and Haaland on the same team, and then pay the two of them that much money. So calculate from the economic point of view. I mean, aesthetically, just looking from the aesthetic side of view, it's fantastic. You want to have those two players playing together, very fast players, two players that can score goals very well. But then, would the two of them are also running into each other? But then I've seen that Mbappe evolved his game playing with Messi. At the beginning, it wasn't very, very good, but that's a little bit of fun, especially with Ballon d'Or number 7. No matter how you argue about it, that have come to stay. So I want to get your take on it. If you are listening live via the mobile application, Elegbete TV radio mobile application, you can join in by calling in on 070250069, or you can send me a WhatsApp message if you want to be anonymous. Just send me a WhatsApp message 08034277165. Let's talk about that, and then you can also drop a comment and let me know what your thought is. Mbappe, Nicolas Pepe money, and then even the salary. There is a way they said they wanted to prorata it, cut it in pieces, and then we'll pay you this amount of money. We're owing you this, and we'll keep it as we begin to make profit. What if you don't make profit? Okay, but like we'll owe you for the rest of our lives. Okay, but those kind of things. I don't think footballers need it. So they're saying we will be paying. We agreed to the 700,000 a week, but we'll be paying 350 every week, and then the rest we'll be piling it up in debt, which we'll pay later. It's something doable. Can't they just go within themselves and then, that thing they say, cut your coat according to your size or according to your material. So if you don't reach to sew coat, use a sew shirt. If you don't reach to sew shirt, use a sew singlet or shimmy. If you don't reach to sew shimmy, use it to do handkerchief. I think that's what clubs are supposed to be doing. But the thing with big clubs is that once you're a big club, you can't even just go back down and say, okay, let me even create this sort of low tempo, low profile lifestyle that just keeps us out of people's eyes and just begin to grow like Ajax. Okay, Ajax is not going to win the Champions League every season. They're not going to compete for it. If it comes, they get to the semi-final, fine for them. But then they're always going to get some low profile players, Sebastian Heller, and then create a system that allow players to gel together and perform in such a high profile way that they can even compete with some of the best clubs in the world. Isn't it what Barcelona should be doing right now, owing to the fact that they are really neck deep in debt? And any major signing again might just be repeating the same thing that will blame Bartomeu and the rest for. That's my thought anyway. But then let me give you some of the transfer gist or the rumors that are going on in the beautiful world of football. And I'll come back and then we'll talk about some of that. Newcastle United are increasingly confident of signing England striker Kieran Trippier, 31, from Atletico Madrid next month. Is that the kind of player that they need that would save them from relegation? Because they really need to get saved from relegation. And, every single day that they go without winning games, every single match day that they go without winning games, they are keeping themselves deep and deep and deep precariously in that relegation mud water, where at some point they might not be able to dig themselves out or jump themselves out of the pits that they find themselves already. Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel says Tuchel, is leave as they would prefer bringing in a replacement first. You're not going to play him. If you're not going to play him, why are you bothering about whether you bring in a replacement or not? I think that you should go look at the January transfer window, put all the money that they have, because if you sell Aubameyang right now, you free up first £350,000 a week. That's if I'm not mistaken, £1.4 million every month. That's enough money to bring in like two strikers, one from Italy and one from Germany or somewhere in France. That would likely give you the goods. And somehow it seems like Lacazette has woken up and is really, really playing. Yes, he missed the penalty, but really, really fighting for the team, link up play, playing together with the rest of the team. Saka is playing out of his skin. Odegaard, yes, he's a yo-yo. Today he's informed, tomorrow he's not informed. Today he's playing well, tomorrow he's not playing well. The jury's still out on him. Emile Smith came off the bench and, scored that goal. Good one for him. Tottenham Hotspur boss Antonio Conte is trying to sign 30-year-old Italy international forward Lorenzo Insigne, whose contract at Napoli runs out in the summer. I like him. I'm going to be very honest here. I like him. He's a little Italian who knows how to play the caller. And if you know me, I'm a caller specialist, okay? So I like him. I like him, but 30... Spurs is a never do well team. You leave the Spurs of Italy, Napoli, and you go to the Spurs of England. So similar thing. That's just my only problem. Barcelona are preparing to move for Borussia Dortmund, 21-year-old Norwegian striker, like I said earlier on. Erling Braut Haaland. Let's see how that goes. And Manchester City are interested in Haaland, but may not be willing to spend enough to get him. Well, 75 should be going for 75. The problem is not really the transfer fee. Transfer fee is not expensive for a player like Haaland, but the add-ons, the father will get 20 million, the agent will get 20 million. So if you add that to 75, that's already 115 million, and then the salary that comes in, that's crazy. That's crazy money. Okay, you're talking crazy money, and I don't think Man City wants to pay that kind of money for anybody because it will also offset their team. Okay, these players that are playing so well, doing everything, and then you bring in one guy whose pay gap will be way bigger than the rest. I don't think anybody wants to take that. Remember how Sanchez came to Manchester United and the team, got disunited because of the fact that Sanchez was earning £500,000 a week, and the other guys, the closest to him was on 250. And everybody like, okay, so we won the Europa. This is the thank you give us. Okay, now let him come and play the ball and see. And you see the effect of that. Well, Arsenal, Tottenham, and Manchester United are set to move for 21-year-old Serbian striker Dusan Vlahovic after he rejected the interest, the highest contract in Fiorentina history. Okay, that's a good one. Arsenal, please make a quick move on this one. Would he play well in England? That's a different thing, but you will never know until you get him. So I think Arsenal should move very, very fast. Okay. Uzo Bank says, why is the father getting 20 million when he is not his agent? He's called, what did I call it at that time? Spend fee. He's getting spend fee. I'm the one that just created that. But that's the deal. That's the more like finder's fee. So they inserted that clause on his contract when he moved from Norway to Dortmund, that they would it's compensation for grooming the boy and developing him to become that, because it's actually said that it's the father that was responsible for grooming him up until the level where he signed for the Norwegian club. And when he signed for the Norwegian club, it was more of a third party kind of deal. But the Norwegian club gave him opportunity to play competitive football. So when he did transfer, the money wasn't much. The club took the money. But then there was that clause that the father, whatever transfer they do later, that's why the transfer fee came from 150 now to 75 million, sorry. So all of those money can be accommodated. Dortmund does not want to do, because of the laws in Germany, does not want to say, okay, pay us 120 or 130 million, and then Dortmund will not give 20 million to the father, 20 million to the agent. So what Dortmund did is, look, we will club to come buy him at this amount and agree to pay your money to sell. Now you come to me and said, the property agent, you can sell the property. And somebody else wanted to, and came to me and I said, oh, I've given this an agent. But that to me and I said, oh, I've given this an agent. But that somebody is not the one who brought the person who have money. If he comes to you and they do the deal, you're going to give that person what they call finder's fee, right? And then this person will get his agency fee, and then I get my money as the owner of the property. So I think that's the thing that is happening. The father is getting finder's fee, but I call it spam money, and the agent is getting agency fee, and then the club is getting transfer fee. I hope I've cleared that one for you. Uzobat, concerning Haaland. See, as we go through this football journey, the stories of transfer will be changing every now and again. Okay, so the way we know transfer as it used to be will no longer be how it is, because of the changes that will just be occurring here and there every now and again. And I'm not sure that we've seen the end of this type of transfer. It will continue to happen. I'll give you my word on that. It will continue to happen. We will keep looking and be hoping that, things will change. This type of transfer conversation will always happen. So it's as we go, different people will change the way the transfer business is done. But let's keep our fingers crossed. That's the most important. Let's keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. My own is also the small talk of, okay, if any club is not able to get in, Dortmund. Also the small talk of, okay, if any club is not able to get in, Dortmund will. I think that Dortmund have really not fared well. They sold Jadon Sancho. I'm just thinking, I might be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. They sold Jadon Sancho, and the team is not as creative as you expect them to be. Some small games that this one is set in stone. They struggle with those games, and those are the worry, and that's where I see the Dortmund problem. But then that's also one of the reasons why a player like Erling Haaland want to leave, because you're not Erling Haaland to be playing Europa games. You want to be playing the big competition. You want to be eating up with Real Madrid and going shoulder to shoulder with them and battling them for titles. And if you're not doing that at this level, then you're not doing anything. If you're not scoring the goals that you're scoring in the Champions League, my brother, you're just wasting your time. Well, let's continue with the stories that was pulling out there. Okay. Chelsea's 28-year-old German defender Antonio Rudiger, who has 6 months remaining on his contract, he was considering leaving the club before Thomas Tuchel was appointed manager in January. So, what has now happened? You've not said anything. That's what you were considering then. What are you considering now? That's what I want to know. Okay. Well, we will see. The 6 months is not 6 years. It's not 600 years. You not suffer for 600 years. So we'll see in 6 months' time what happens. So probably in January, a new announcement will be made. Liverpool manager Young Club says England defender Joe Gomez, 24, will not join Aston Villa in January transfer window. More like, Steven Gerrard, you that came here almost got a draw for me. I'm not going to give you help. I'm not going to assist you. But Steven Gerrard has really impressed me anyway. Really impressed me with Aston Villa job. You know, I'm one of those persons who tell you that English managers can win titles. Well, I'm not saying Aston Villa is going to win titles, but he's really, really impressed me with the way he's got a job, settled in, and trying to turn the fortune of Aston Villa around, but still a long way from winning a title. Still, that conversation is still going to be on ground. The Premier League started in 1992, and up until now, they've not managed. They've not managed to have one English coach win the title. That's crazy. 92, 2002, 2012. That's next year is going to be 30 years, and the Premiership has been running. And since that time to now, you've not had an English coach winning it. That's a shame. And please don't come and tell me, please don't come and tell me that Alex Ferguson is a no, it's a Scotsman, and that's how it stays. Okay? Let's not have that. Don't even try it. Don't even try and give me that conversation. Say because somebody from Awushi is bearing Ahmed Musa in Amiza is a Hausa person. Stop it. Okay. And to talk about that, Ahmed Musa is really from Edo State. I still can't believe anyway. But I found out recently that Ahmed Musa is from Edo State and not from Kano. Okay, boy, I grew up in the north. Okay, let's leave that. RB Leipzig midfielder Amado Haidara, 23, has fueled rumor linking it with Manchester United after praising the club's interim manager Ralf Rangnick. How's that fueling the rumor? Praising because the guy worked with them before and he knows him. So what's the big deal? West Ham are among the European clubs interested in signing 24-year-old Argentine defender Marcos Senesi. Okay, Inter Milan forward Alexis Sanchez, 32, could return to Barcelona on loan. Jesus Christ. With 31-year-old striker Luke de Jong, who sent Barcelona to sign Luke de Jong. But then Luke de Jong and Alexis Sanchez wasn't different. Okay, Luke de Jong, who is currently on loan at Barca from Sevilla, moving to Inter. Well, let's see how that goes. Defender Nat Phillips, 24, is prepared to leave Liverpool in January in search of regular football. That's a good one. Middlesbrough are in advanced talks to sign 2 mystery strikers on loan next month. Okay, Juventus are interested in signing Argentine striker Mario Icardi, 28, from Paris Saint-Germain. Let's hope that happens. And Mario Icardi, you see that this is 28 years is just stuck there because it's been 28 for a while now. Okay, I don't know, but that's what we have on that one. So we can move a bit and go to the headlines. So let's talk about Arsenal. Because I'm getting some messages. I'm going to read that one. Mercedes are set to abandon their appeal against Max Verstappen's contentious Abu Dhabi win after Sir Lewis Hamilton told them he doesn't want his 8th world title to be won in court, which is the classiest thing that I've seen anyone do. In my opinion, Formula One wanted a cinematic end to the season, and they created it. All of these things they did it for media. It seems like so Formula One was losing, the media hype and sponsorship was getting low, so they needed to create controversy. Don't forget that controversy sells madly, and they needed to create controversy, and they just benefited from it. So let me go to my messages that excuse me. I've got like serious sore throat. My tongue is paining me to the very end. McClatterberg's decision to award Arsenal a penalty and send off West Ham defender Vladimir Kofel was played wrong. I'm amazed inexperienced VAR official Peter Bankes didn't tell Anthony Taylor to check the monitor. Okay, that's according to Mark Clattenburg. I don't understand. This is the same Mark Clattenburg that used to make a lot of mistakes. Okay, well, remember I wrote a book, The Whistleblower. I've not bought that book. I think I need to get that book and read because there's some interesting details about that Mikel Obi issue that I want to look into, and also some of the match book. Okay, Williams from Iju Ichaga is saying, "Good morning, Edafe. Good morning to you. I'm enjoying your show. I like the fact that you take it slow. I used to like the high pitch speed that you did in your former place of work, but I like the fact that you're taking it slow. I'm taking it slow because one, I've got like my nose is blocked, my tongue has like the sore all over my tongue, and I'm struggling to talk. I'm actually struggling to talk. Okay, but I'm good. I'm recovering. I'm getting better. So, what do you have to say about Arteta and Aubameyang? Is Arteta not creating problem that will lead to him losing the dressing room? I don't think so. I don't think so. I actually think that Arteta have done what a good coach would do. It's just that it is hard to be a good coach in this social media era. That's what I've come to notice. In this social media era, the things that other coaches used to do that would praise them for are the things now that would blame coaches for. So let me give you a very vintage example of that. When Sir Alex Ferguson bust the eye of David Beckham with a boot, it was a nice thing to do. It was the alpha male in the room showing who's boss, even though that eye busting was a mistake. But the story came out and like, oh, that's why Sir Alex Ferguson is God. That's why he's disciplined. That's why everybody fears him. Okay. Aubameyang have broken a lot of rules. He's the captain of the team. There are expectations when you're the captain of the team. And it seems that I have a lot of young players. You're supposed to be a role model. But let's not forget that disciplinary issues with Aubameyang is not something that started at Arsenal. He's had disciplinary issues with when he played for AC Milan. Some of you don't know he played for AC Milan. He's had disciplinary issues when he played at Borussia Dortmund, and Arsenal has had that. Now, because he was scoring quite a lot of goals, you will always sweep that under the carpet and let it go. But then when your form is not good and you're still showing indiscipline, then people going to complain. Now, I also know that as an analyst, I can't sit here and say I know everything on the inside. Okay? But we can only deal with what we are told. And I know how footballers work. One day when he leaves Arsenal, his brother, his family members, his agent will come out and start saying things about Arteta. Arteta is not employed to coach an Arsenal team that have been. First responsibility is to bring them back to Europe, not Europe via Europa, but Europe via the UEFA Champions League. And that's the battle is on. Every smart and intelligent captain knows that if a coach is on that mission, you are the one that will be the coach of the field and you will rally your troop. This season, we're going to have some good games. I'm not going to stay here and go against him. Against Tottenham Hotspur, his flick and turns and twists and runnings were fantastic. Against Aston Villa, against Leicester, if I'm not mistaken. Quite a few games he's got some very, very fantastic games. But then he's not put consistency behind it. And then when he went to Africa and didn't come on time, for me, because I live in Africa and I understand that traveling can be very difficult. Let me give you a very, very easy one. Yesterday, we had a meeting set up for 8 to 9 p.m. And the flight for the person coming in from Abuja was 5, Eric. That person didn't leave Abuja till like 10. So the meeting didn't even bother to hold. No, this morning now we're going to try and make that meeting happen immediately after I leave. And that happens across the whole of Africa as well, that kind of flight issues. So he may have missed his flight, his flight may have been delayed, but then some of us don't communicate very well. So in not communicating with the coach, as a coach, you're thinking that this guy is taking you for granted. And then it's also broken camp rules and go and pick up COVID at the start of the season. They affected Arsenal. Arsenal lost to Brentford, 2-0. Then there's some other coming late to training and team meeting. You are the captain. By the rules of the game, as a captain, you're supposed to be the first on duty. Okay, so every other person comes. You see when people talk, Cristiano Ronaldo, I came to the club and I wanted to come early and I went there. Cristiano Ronaldo is already there 2 hours. So no matter how you want to talk negative about Cristiano Ronaldo, you will respect his work ethics. But Aubameyang doesn't have that. Most African players don't have it anyway. So it's hard for you to ever hear somebody talk about an African player, apart from George Weah, who people talk about like that they have high level of work ethics, they are very, very serious, they are always there ahead of everybody. It's hard to see that. So I don't think I want to sit here and blame Arteta. Aubameyang is an African. So yesterday I was having that same conversation with some guys in the WhatsApp group, and I said to the guys, listen, if Aubameyang was a Brazilian and they are making this type of comments about him, would you blame Arteta? Obviously, you wouldn't. The reason why some of you guys are blaming Arteta from this side of the divide is because he's African and you want to be like sentimental. Listen, in football, I know that times have changed, the whole system, everything has changed, but football is not really a democracy. There are set rules that you must follow. Coaches are meant to respect players. Players are also meant to respect coaches. But then, most of all, you're playing for the club. Even if you don't like a coach, you can play for a coach that you don't like. You can play for a coach that doesn't like you. The thing is, you sign a contract with the club. Play for the badge. This badge that you play for the badge. And if you're not showing any level of commitment and dedication to that badge, then they will ship you aside. The question is, without Aubameyang, are they winning or they are not winning? They are winning. And that's what's most important. Where Arsenal is right now is the point where can they sustain a run to be the top 4? I'm not looking at the Premier League table right now and saying Arsenal is in number 4 position. You know I'm not doing that. And people are like, oh, you're hitting Arsenal too hard. No, I'm not hitting them too hard. I'm just saying that looking at the league table, you would understand why I am not one of those people who is, oh, hippie hooray, Arsenal is in the top 4 now. Yes, I predicted that Arsenal will make top 4. Somebody actually wanted to bet his salary. But look at it from this angle. Manchester City are on top of the log with 41 points. Perfect. 4 points ahead of Liverpool. So if Liverpool play their outstanding game tonight, they will still be on top. Man City will still be on top. Chelsea 16 games played. Arsenal 17 games played. West Ham 17 games played. They are now in 5th. Manchester United have a game in hand. Okay? And that game in hand, if they win, they go to 30 points. Arsenal comes to 4th. West Ham goes to 6th. That's how the slippery slope will start. Okay? But there is a club that can also jump into the top 4 that nobody is taking note of. That's Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur have played 14 games so far. So if they win their remaining outstanding 2 games, and outstanding 3 games, they get 9 points out of it, which you know what that means. That means that they'll go to 33 points. That takes them to 4th again, even edging Manchester United out of that place. So for me to sit here and say, oh, Arsenal is in 4th position, well, that's what the league table says right now. But you have to consider that they played more games than Man United, more games than Tottenham Hotspur, and quite a few other teams. So that's the reason why I'm not overly, boisterous or buoyant about talking about Arsenal being in the 4th position. It doesn't mean that I don't celebrate their 4th position, but then who jumps over the hoops because the team is in 4th position by match day 17? I don't know anybody who does that. So it's not really a big achievement to do. Well, Unamdi from Abia. I'm supposed to be in Abia next week. Unamdi from Abia says, hello, Daffy, thank you very much for being so analytical about this Aubameyang and Arteta matter. And it's something I've been telling my friends here, but they are all arguing about it. Yeah, good morning to you and to all your listeners. I also want to ask a question. Do you think that Xavi is the man for the job? Does Xavi have what it takes to deliver on the job? Wow. I don't know Xavi on the personal note, and I seen him work where he was before. Coaches' jobs are easier when they take over a team that is progressing, a team that have everything that they need. Not when you come in and take a team that there is so much grumbling in the dressing room of everybody just wants to behave because they know that you're not the one responsible for their problem, and then they're just mashing on with you. They're just enduring. So that's where Barcelona is. Let's not forget that Barcelona have had to do players pay cut over 3 times in the last 1 year. Those players are not really happy. Okay, lack of happiness also would also be will also temper motivation, the motivation to really get in up there and be the best of who they want to be. So that also is a problem. I wouldn't say that Javi is a bad coach, or also wouldn't say he's a world class coach. You are going to be judged based on results. So we wait for the result. But I can be very, very patient with Javi because this team is not good. It's like what I said about Arteta when Arteta took over. Like, I can't even judge Arteta by anything because the team is terrible. What I really hope for is what is happening. Systematically phase out all those old players that does not have the interest of the club at heart. Right now, the players that are carrying the clubs on their shoulder are those small boys, Saka, Emily Rose Smith, and then the defense have been good. So if you look at us now, be able to give credit to Arteta that leaky defense. It's not as if they not considered they've not considered goals this season. They have, but that leaky defense that you used to have, like the game against West Ham yesterday, at some point when it was 1-0 after the penalty miss, other Arsenal team would have collapsed and considered. But no, that didn't happen. You could tell that Arsenal was 1 month more, but when you watched the game, it looked like it was Arsenal that collected the red card. Even though I don't think that red card was justified, I think it was just robbing, play robbing. But hey, football is football. This it happens to you sometimes, and then it happens for you. Okay, I think that Javi should be given time, and then we'll decide the players that he needs, because some of the players that are at Barcelona right now don't even deserve to play in the Barcelona B team. Once they get those kind of players, then we can now sit back and judge him well, because there is no equal level footing to judge him right now. And then if you judge him right now, you're practically judging him wrongly. So you know, let's wait and see. Official, I would say, saving or bros. Okay, it's been a while. More grace, boss. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I know everybody's kind of busy. This is the Ember month. I'm even planning on a 3 weeks break as I did. So I'm thinking of taking a break. Okay, Bayo from what's that? Itire. Okay, Bayo from Itire. Say good morning, Daffy. The biggest conversation in my mind right now is the AFCON. Now, European clubs came out yesterday to announce that the ECA, which is the European Clubs Association, have come out to announce clearly this is full frontal. Let's go against Africa and see what they can do. What's called their medal. We are not releasing our players because of the Omicron virus, so it's official. It's not the gossip anymore. Therefore, what do you think would be the fate of the AFCON? Should they go ahead, as CAF is saying, they want to go ahead and play from January, or they should postpone it? Ordinarily, I think the AFCON will be postponed. So let's not even mix this things up. I think the AFCON will be postponed. If they don't postpone it, if they stubbornly decide to go ahead, Cameroon is actually not ready. Equipment are not, the facilities are not ready, they are not there yet. Okay, so Cameroon will have 4 years to prepare, but the African way, they've not put the facilities together. That's one. So on that basis, it should be postponed. But in order not to make Cameroon look bad, they should just use Omicron as the excuse and postpone it. Okay, that's one. That's one part. Two, from my own business standpoint, it will favor me if they postpone it, because there are some transactions that we have going on, and the NFF people have not done the needful. So it will hurt us if we're already in debt already. It will hurt us if we are unable to execute it. So for that, I call for it to be postponed. But let's talk about the nitty-gritty of this conversation. When the club came out and said that the African Nations Cup is a little tournament, you saw Nigeria journalists, everybody was going ballistic. EC had come out yesterday to say we're not releasing your players. Do you know that no African player whose team qualified, whose country qualified for the AFCON have come out to say, no, I want to go? I remember Messi was injured playing for Paris Saint-Germain. And Leonardo, who is a South American, who knows how passionate South Americans are about their national team, said that Messi shouldn't go. Messi said, when Messi was signing for Paris Saint-Germain, he put a clause in his contract that says, I must go for the national team. And even when he was injured, that he said he wants to go and inspire his teammates, not because he wants to play. That's one. Neymar, name all these South American players, they always go for their national team. During the, is it the Copa? No, it's not the Copa. That qualifiers where, what qualifier where the people came into the stadium and stopped the game, the Brazil-Argentina game. Okay, you saw what happened. They went. But as at that same time, there was the blacklisted countries in Africa where we couldn't go play in Cape Verde. 11 players for the Super Eagles did come because their club wanted them back. I'm not saying that players should not obey their employers. You would obey your employers. That's actually what made people die in Kentucky, in America, for the what's it called, the hurricane that came, because your employer says, don't leave. If you leave, you'll be fired. Okay? Instead of them to say, okay, you better fire me because I'll leave and I'll stay alive. If I stay here, I will die. Most people stay. We have about 80 people dead. Okay? So, even if the ECA says we're not going to release our players, if the players come out with one voice, these guys, they meet each other, they chat on different platforms. Say, guys, let's come out with one voice. Sadio Mane, Mo Salah, what's it called? All the big Mahrez, all the big African players, Jawara, the rest of them from Europe, other European countries all come together and say, look, we want to go to play in the AFCON. I'm not sure that ECA can stop them. Okay? They will tell you, we want to go and play in the AFCON, and then when we come back, we'll quarantine as much as we can. Because when the Euros was going on, all borders were opened. 11 countries hosted the Euros, and there were a lot of countries who had COVID issues. Italy, for instance, have serious COVID issues, but nobody talked about it because the European Cup Euros was going on. Why are we not doing the same for Africa? Why are the journalists who were mad at young club? You see why I said the other day that it is popularity contest. People are just trying to be famous. People just want to make headlines. And people said I'm beefing them or I'm calling people out. No, I'm not calling anybody out. People say it's racism. You see, now they're telling you that your Nations Cup, the so-called Nations Cup that you're calling big, and then Africa, what's it called? CAF is holding ground that they don't want to postpone it. If you don't postpone it and your European-based players don't come, and all these your local players go and play, and the tournament not become CHAN, has it not gone from what you call a big tournament to a little tournament? Because if it is not little, then your best players will be playing in it. Your best players can't play because some clubs, some people in Europe have made a decision. They are still your colonial master, whether you like it or not. That's my take on it. So if Africa is smart, this is the first sign, or maybe one of many signs, to tell you that, oh, Benny, develop your league, develop your infrastructure, turn football into business, make it a business enterprise, not charity. Okay? When you host the Nations Cup anywhere, people should be able to declare profit. Like the World Cup, the minimum money that the World Cup generates is $4 billion. Okay? And you could say, okay, that's the incentive to host and to be part of the World Cup. But not this one that we're doing. Not this one that we're doing in Africa. But hey, what do I know? I still think that CAF should postpone the tournament. Imagine these big players are playing in the tournament and sometimes we don't get full stadium. So just imagine now that Nigeria is going to go to the Nations Cup and all our Euro-based players are not going to play. Oh, Lord have mercy. So now we need to pick players from our league that is definitely starting this weekend, thank God. So many sponsors are lining up for the league now. So kudos to Shewudiko and his team. Just imagine that we're not picking players, these are players that can't play the CAF competition and win. They are going to represent the Super Eagles. How is that going to work? What kind of magic is any coach going to do? Your plans have been destroyed already. Are you sending the coaches out there to go and commit suicide or to go and perform magic? You know, those are some of the things that I'm looking at. What about it's not my call. It's not up to me to decide whether the Nations Cup should be postponed or not. But if you ask me, I think it should be postponed. Oye from Owerri. Oye. Oye, darling. How you doing? Oye from Owerri said, Edafe, I have a cousin. Oh, God. I have a cousin that is 17-year-old, is a very good footballer. Okay. When people say that their brother or family member is a very good footballer, it is scary sometimes. He's a very good footballer, and I want you to help me link him up with a club. Well, I'm not a football agent. I don't do linking up with a club. The relationship that I have with coaches, I always say to myself, I do not recommend players. That's the principle thing, because once you start doing that, you will break your relationship with coaches. Coaches will see you like, oh, you're trying to influence. I don't do that. Baba Bakaba is my friend. Excuse me. Fidelis Elechuku, all of these guys. But one of the things I've tried not to do is to get involved in, oh, coach, sign this player or this player is good. No, I don't do that. So, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. No, I would have loved to help, but it's out of my hand. It's not within my jurisdiction to do that. That's all I can say to you. Well, we've come to the point where I bring Peter and Winode into the show and get him to do his thing as he normally does. Really struggling to breathe here, like really, really struggling to breathe. Chill said, I'm happy about the Arsenal win last night. Fourth place is fourth place. A Man United is worth more than a million in the bush. Looking at the Lacazette assist for the first goal, and you wonder what Arsenal would look like if he had a proper nine who would bring others into play. The Aubameyang situation is sad though. You think he will leave in January? I'll be very choose from Okota. I'll be very glad to see him leave in January. I'm one of those who said I shouldn't have renewed his contract, but he did well to end the contract. He did well. Won the FA Cup for us, semi-finals and finals performance. So Aubameyang, we're not going to argue about Aubameyang's ability. Does he know how to play football? That's not a conversation to have. He's a great footballer, but see, talent is not enough. Attitude is a very big thing. And I saw somebody wrote a very long epistle after all is done for Arsenal. This is Arsenal treated back, and I'm laughing. Arsenal have qualified for UEFA Champions League with Nicolas Brentner leading the line. Arsenal have qualified for Champions League with Marouane Chamakh leading the line. Arsenal have qualified for UEFA Champions League with what's it called? Robin van Persie going in and out with injury. God rest his soul. Jose Antonio Reyes playing from the way and scoring goals. Aubameyang, with all he's done, is won the FA Cup for us. We've not, under the reign of Aubameyang, we're not playing in Europe. We played Europa and then we eventually did not play. And people say that, oh, is he the only one that will do it? The players around Aubameyang, in case you guys don't know, are better players than some of the players that Arsenal have had, and they qualify for the Champions League. And a great argument is that the competition in the Premier League right now is stronger than the competition you used to have. I agree. So where else would Aubameyang have been earning £350,000 a week, living the kind of life that he's living? So I don't think that I want to sit here and say, for all I've done, like Nigerian girls, everything I've done for you, you still leave me and go and marry another girl. No, shut up. We both did something for each other. Arsenal employed you to play for them and score goal. That's your job. They gave you the captain band. That's another extra responsibility. When they give you the captain's armband, it means that they trust you and they see you as the symbol, the poster boy of the club. So you have to choose. There are two types of captain that we've had in Arsenal. You have to either have to be the Thierry Henry, the Tony Adams, David O'Leary, Vieira, the successful ones, or you choose to be the part of those ones who were rebels. So we've had Vieira who threatened to take Arsenal to court and they don't let him leave. We have Thierry Henry who got angry and got tired of how the Arsenal club was going, and then he went to Barcelona to win the Champions League. We've also had Fabregas who forced to move out back to Barcelona and then they come back to Arsenal but came back to Chelsea. The shortest cut to Chelsea is through Barcelona and back to Chelsea. Okay, we've had Robin van Persie forced to move to Man United, even though Arsenal were culpable for that one. We've had a Gallas, William, who sat in the stadium. We've had a Gallas who tried to score a goal. That's how bad we've had it with captains. So it's not today. We've had Adebayo, who won the captain award briefly, and then also did what he did. I went to Man City. It's not new that this is happening, and nobody should put the blame all on the shoulders of Arteta. Arteta have not done anything. It's a captain that have not lived up to the terms of his responsibility, and you have to strip him. If Arteta does not strip Aubameyang off, people will say he's weak. When Pep Guardiola comes to a team and does what only Pep Guardiola knows how to do, people say he's racist, he's evil, he's bad. No, you have to take charge. You have to claim your territory. And if Aubameyang is allowed to do this, tomorrow Saka will be allowed to do it. Emilio Smith will be allowed to do it. You need to show example. Sometimes it's hard. Leadership is not an easy place to sit. It's not an easy tool. It's hard, but you've got to take strong, hard, painful decisions to put every other person in line. The most difficult thing to control is human beings. Okay? So I think just be the admin of a WhatsApp group. You understand what I'm saying? Just make yourself, create a WhatsApp group. Maybe it's a WhatsApp group where the goal is for everybody to be greeting each other. Just put love. Don't do this, don't do this. And you see how the WhatsApp group goes. Okay? So the best place to be is where Arteta have taken a decision. Would he end up in top 4? Even if he doesn't end up in top 4, it's no big deal, because with Aubameyang before, you don't make top 4. So what's the big deal? Obviously, I was going to say Oba is out and Arsenal is winning. I don't think he is coming back to that team. I also hope so, but anything is possible. Well, people will argue that Arteta came, Ozil left, Ozil have been winning World Cup over there. Now it's Aubameyang. Well, if the players are not doing well, you should let them go. Silence Ferguson lets what's it called? Beckham go. Let Yapstam go. Let Ruud van Nistelrooy of all people. You know, it was chased out of Manchester United. So think about it. What has this guy done? What has he really done? Well, this is where we draw the curtain of the show today. Thank you very much to everybody who's been on the show with us from the start. And I'm really struggling here. Believe me, I'm struggling trying to get my acts together, trying to be in one piece. Well, thank you very much for everyone who's helped us to make the show a success today. I got to leave now. Peter Whether is coming with them say sports. If you listen on the mobile app, you will hear that. But if you listen via Instagram and YouTube, obviously you can hear it. So this is where I go to content. My name is Enda. If you want to yourself today, you love to come in there and go to all the sports. God bless you and have for yourself a lovely day. Bye bye. Jesus Christ, my whole nose is blocked. I can't breathe.